Eric Freeman here. I'm going to be doing a digital fan event on December 20th. We're going to go online with a Q&A at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Garbage Day!
Huh?
No!
So what I want you to do if you're interested is go to fullempirepromotions.com and you can see everything available to you. Also, I do video greetings and autographs, etc. And there's a lot of other actors out there at Full Empire Promotions, and you can find your favorites there and, you know, do the same thing with them. But my gig is December 20th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Full Empire Promotions. You do the Q&A with me, and you get a video memento of it. And so if you want Caldwell in your life, and hell, who doesn't want Caldwell in their life? We all want some Caldwell. Show up December 20th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, fullempirepromotions.com. I'll see you there. Oh, you'll be punished. See ya.
Bingo!
Come. Sit with me. Closer.
Hi guys, Amy Yasbeck here. I just wanted to let you know that on December 11th, I'm going to be having a live Q&A at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 5 o'clock will be some 5-minute Zoom sessions, just you and me.
Closer, you silly boy.
And signing photos and all kinds of fun stuff. I really, really, really miss getting out there, and I wanted to do a bunch of fun fan conventions this year. But of course, this year we are staying in and staying safe. Please join me. A portion of the proceeds are going to go to the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health. Okay? Okay. Oh, these are my earrings. Too much? That's too much.
I hope she's still wearing her iron underwear.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Full Empire Promotions live event. I'm Dominic. I'll be your host for this special Q&A with Amy Yasbeck. Feel free to watch along and ask her some questions or leave some comments as we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So thanks so much to everyone who's joining us live. If you'd like to have your own private conversation with Amy following this Q&A, she'll be doing one-on-one video meet and greets on Zoom. In addition, you can get personally signed photographs as well as video greetings at fullempirepromotions.com. Sales for the Zoom meetings will end at about 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you're interested in that, you have about an hour to book that. Autographs and video greetings will be on sale until this coming Monday. Before I bring Amy on, let's take a look at some of her career highlights. Wow, what a great career. Well, I'm honored to welcome our special guest. You probably know her from this TV series Wings, or her lead starring roles in Problem Child 1 and 2, The Mask, and the Mel Gibson classic films Dracula Dead and Loving It, and Robin Hood Men in Tights. Other credits include Splash 2, Pretty Woman, The Nut House, House 2. Most recently, she's appeared on Little Women, Big Cars, as well as episodes of Bones, Modern Family, and Pretty Little Liars, just to name a few. I'm thrilled to welcome a talented actress, a witty and creative and wonderful person, Amy Yasbeck.
That's
Amy.
crazy. That was like seeing my life flash before my eyes. And before you start getting people writing to you, you said Mel Gibson movies instead of Mel Brooks.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry.
I don't know how much Mel would like
Not
that.
enough coffee. Can't be any more different than that, right? Than
Yeah.
Mel Brooks and Mel Brooks. I stand corrected.
Whoa, I told you my camera was going to screw up.
See, this is like a Mel Brooks movie already.
Wait, everything should be fine. Hi.
So how are you, Amy?
I'm great. That was crazy. You had clips in there that I have never seen, which is weird. Oh, shoot. I really need to get a professional thing. Wait. How's that? That seem right?
Looks good to me.
Nobody panic. Hello.
Yeah, so I guess bringing back some memories there from your career.
You think? Yeah, especially the House 2 with me dancing around in my underpants.
That's a great movie. It's such a fun movie.
Is it?
It is. It's so fun.
Okay.
Well, I do want to start off by mentioning that a portion of the proceeds from this event will go in support of the John Ritter Foundation. You can see their logo right above us. Can you tell us a little bit about this foundation? I know you're the founder of it. For those who don't know, maybe explain a little bit about how it got started.
Oh, absolutely. When John passed away in 2003, he was actually misdiagnosed with a heart attack, and he was dying in the emergency room from an aortic dissection, which is your aorta comes up from, this is turned around. It's on the left side where your heart is. Comes up from your heart and goes kind of down back behind it, and it is the main highway that feeds everything in your body. And a dissection usually comes after an aneurysm where there's a bulge in part of it because of the structure of the aorta becomes kind of torn or loose inside. And so the blood goes in between the layers, and it doesn't go where it's supposed to go, which is everywhere else in your body. And that's how John passed away. And so I started this foundation to get more awareness about aortic aneurysm and dissection, and to make sure that people know that chest pain isn't always a heart attack. And when you go into a hospital, if you have chest pain, feel free to say, check me for that John Ritter thing. We also get people up to date on the risk because very, very, very often it's inherited. And John's brother actually 4 years after John passed away, because he was getting scanned for it, like imaged for it, saw that he had an aneurysm in the exact same place, and we got him fixed and good, and he's okay.
Wow.
Getting him fixed sounds like we got him snipped like a dog. We got his aorta repaired, and our family, like many families, it's where we know it must be genetic, but we don't know the exact gene to be on the lookout for. So we're all just very careful and cautious.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
you know, their genetic risk for it because of the John Ritter research program in aortic and vascular diseases at UT Health in Houston, which is a place that one of the research facilities that we support. And that's my blah, 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 blah story. But honestly, that's job one for me. And you know where my heart and my aorta is. You've heard me to everybody.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. You know, very passionate about it, and you're a soldier with it, and that's commendable.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, it really is. Well, let's go back to you were born in Cincinnati, Ohio.
1962, born in Cincinnati, Ohio. Lived in
you said it, and I never know when to say it or not. What do you remember about your childhood most that you cherished? Did you watch films growing up?
Yes, but my brother Jay exposed me to if it cut out right there, we'd be in trouble. exposed me to the Three Stooges early on. So I assumed that's what comedy was, getting poked in the eye. Oh, and did you see in the when you did the package and it was for, I don't know if they ended up calling it Nutty Nut or Nut House.
Nut House, the Sam Raimi thing.
That's Emil Sitka.
Yeah.
Who was like from Three Stooges, who has passed away, but I got to work with him. Like those are the things. Like I've worked with everybody except for Mel Gibson. But
well,
you know,
maybe I'm willing it on.
Somebody about the Three Stooges at lunch. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I anything Sam Raimi did, you know, he was a big Stooges. He's a big Stooges fan, so I think anything he's ever done in his career, he's involved them somehow. Yeah, which is great. Well, what paved the way for you becoming an artist? Was it a self-made decision, or did someone on screen or off screen sort of influence you to pursue it?
Interesting. I liked laughing when I was a kid, and it was a little bit doity, but my mom and my dad, mostly my mom, she was the boss, let me stay up and watch it. So it was like something like on at 9 or 9:30 on Monday nights or something, and I didn't get most of the jokes, but I just liked that comedy dynamic. And my family, they were all very, very funny. And my mom was very dry humor, but very funny. And so comedy is the part I really loved, you know. And I don't know if I was a class clown. Maybe when I got to high school, I was clowning, but I don't know. People would say stuff like, "You're really an extrovert," when I was actually very like terrified of everything. "You're really an extrovert. You should be an actor. You should be in the movies." And in Cincinnati, I'm like, sure, but I don't know. I guess I just kept moving things out of the way until I got there. Much luck involved, and a lot of failing up, you know, where a lot of luck. And I did do one little modeling job for Kenner, which I was on the cover, the box of the Easy Bake Oven.
Oh wow!
1969, or 67. Huh? I was 6, so I don't know. You do the math. I told you the truth about being born in 62, but that was like a big deal. It's not like it was like now, like it would be everywhere. It was like in the toy store. So weird, because that's a Cincinnati company, so I did that there.
Yeah.
Then I didn't work again for 20 years.
So no wonder you didn't become a chef. You're like a professional chef after being in the Easy Bake Oven.
I never thought of that. I don't cook at all. We've talked about this. The pandemic has been tater totville the whole time.
Lady Diadem, hello from Russia. Guys, let us know where you're watching from.
Hello from Russia.
Cool. Russia. Well, you started your on-screen.
Wait, do svidaniya? Is that Russian? Does that mean hi, how are you? Maybe they'll
let us know.
Okay.
Let us know.
I hope I didn't say anything filthy.
We'll find out. Let us know, Lady Diadem. Let us know what that means in Russian. Well, your on-screen work started off with a few episodes of Dallas. Do you remember much about that experience? And you worked with veteran actors like Larry Hagman and Patrick Duffy and Linda Gray. Did you learn anything?
Well, I did not work with them. I saw Linda Gray in the trailer, but Ken Kirchball was in the scene I did. I only did like 1.5 episodes when Jenny Lee Harris, who was on Three's Company as
Cindy.
Chrissy's sister.
Cindy.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, Cindy. You sure?
Cindy. I think so.
Was okay. Yeah, whatever. So I guess on Dallas, and I didn't watch the show at the time, but she went missing in an avalanche and she was dead, and somehow they needed to talk to the girl who was with her and had a broken leg. So they put me in a full cast for the day, and Ken Kirchball came to talk to me to make sure that Cindy from Three's Company was dead or something like that. So I didn't really get to work with Larry and them, which is, but Linda Gray and I have the same birthday, if anyone's asking.
I was just curious if you hung out with them on set or what, because this is like your first. No, this is like your first.
No, I think my first as well, because I did a pilot. I did a pilot for Lorimar, that was a company at the time, about Russian spies. Sorry, Lady Diadem, but that was the days in them days. Called Rockhopper.
Your Russian was correct, she said.
What?
Your Russian
Really?
was correct. Yeah. She said, wow.
Slovenia.
Yeah.
Hello,
good.
Lady Diadem. I don't know how to say your name. And then I did Days of Our Lives. I feel like I did Days of Our Lives before Dallas. But it's interesting how like IMDb does it. Like when they list it, because sometimes I go, what? There's actually a thing in there that I didn't do in my IMDb page.
That's pretty common from what I hear from a lot of actors. Because anybody can go in and edit it.
Yeah, I know, but it's very important for me that the names in there are correct because my nephew Mike Ziliox has named his 3 daughters. I don't know if he cops to this, but from characters that I've played.
Oh,
I don't know if that's
nice.
really true, but the first one is Olivia, who was my character on Days of Our Lives. And the second one is Rebecca. I can't remember where I played Rebecca. But then the other one is Claudia. So, sorry.
Oh, that's nice.
Those are all for my characters. But if he would have named me Lady in Bar, which it says on there I was on Murphy Brown, that would have been incorrect. Hi, Mike, if you're watching.
Would have been a long name too. Maybe put some hyphenations in there.
Right.
Well, your first film we mentioned briefly was a horror film, I believe, House 2.
Yes.
Seeing as you're a funny person, were you attracted to the dark comedy in this film?
I was attracted to having a job.
So that was the main influence. Just you wanted to get a film.
Are you kidding me? And it was really exciting. And I had no idea I'd be dancing around like underpants style. That was weird. I mean, I had other stuff on, but that was very weird.
Had you seen the first House?
I hadn't at that point because it was at the movies, and I don't even know if there were VHS tapes in those days. Oh my God, that's sad. Let's pretend. I'll cut that out. We're not live, are we? I hadn't seen House 1, but I knew everything about it. And they may have shown us clips. I don't know. But it was a whole different cast of characters. I don't think anybody, because George Wendt was in the first one, and then what's his name?
John Ratzenberger.
John Ratzenberger, sweet, was in the second one. So I think that may have been the only relationship in the thing.
Yeah. Well, it was sort of not a continuation. I mean, it was supposed to be the same house, but
it is
different. I believe so. Yeah, it's supposed to be the same house.
I would have changed so many things about my technique had I known it was the same house.
Well, do you remember anything about Bill Maher? Hanging out with him.
I remember everything about Bill Maher. Bill and I are still buds. Yeah, he. I think that was his either first or second movie. I know he did a movie where he played a pizza delivery man, and then there were Amazon gals or something from Mars. I don't know. But,
the Avocado Jungle.
What is it?
It was Cannibal Women of the Avocado Jungle.
Was that it? The name of the movie?
Yeah.
Did he play like a delivery guy or something?
No, he was like a scientist going there to study like the native islands, and they were all cannibal women.
Oh boy. Okay, I got that mixed up with some other thing. But yeah, so I met him, and he did not like having people come up and like do his makeup, and he was not feeling the makeup lady for whatever reason. And so I said, can I do it? So I would apply his base makeup to his lovely, charming face. And he's always been really, really nice to me and has said lovely things to comics in his field about me. And when I meet somebody where, a friend of mine in the stand-up world, they're like, oh yeah, Bill said that, you used to joke smith for him and go to the Comedy Store and say, here's why that joke didn't work. And I'm like, kinda, not exactly like that, but I'll take that from anybody. I like it. And when I introduced him to John, it was great. It was really nice. It's exciting.
Yeah, he seems like a great guy. I love the dry comedy, dry wit. To me, he does.
He comes off like a jerk, and he's jerky on his show, and he's jerky about a lot of things, and I don't agree with everything he says, but he absolutely is faithful to what he believes. He definitely doesn't sugarcoat anything, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's the same way I am. So,
Really?
Yeah, I pretty much say what's on my mind. Pretty much.
Yeah, I know. I know.
See? Well, you went from House 2 to Splash 2. You did that film in 1988.
All the twos.
Yeah. What do you remember about this film? What do you recall about the audition
For Splash 2?
for Splash 2?
There were a lot of auditions because it was a backdoor pilot, which means that I had to audition and then go to studio, which would be Disney, and then network, which was ABC, and I don't know if they were the same thing at that time. I don't remember. But so it was a thing where we shot a 2-hour pilot, and it was shown on Sunday and then the next Sunday in a million years ago. What was it, 84, 85?
88, it says. 88. That's what it says online.
We shot it in 87, I think. Because when I was a kid, there was the Disney Sunday movie at 7 o'clock on Sunday nights. And when Michael Eisner came on board at Disney, they brought that back. And we were the first movie, but we were also, they probably, I don't know if ABC said, no, it's not going to be a regular show, or if Michael Eisner went, I've made a horrible mistake. Either way, I had a ball. I was in a lot of danger a lot of the time because we shot it at Disney Studios, and we used the pool from Down and Out in Beverly Hills, if anybody remembers that Nick Nolte movie, to do the house stuff. And then for the second half of our shooting, everybody went to Florida at MGM Studios in Orlando, and it was the first Disney MGM Studios. It was the first thing to ever shoot there. The only thing that was built on the back lot was a couple houses, which were supposed to be the Bauer residences. And so then I shot the parts with the tail at Epcot Center in the living seas, swimming with sharks and like those things that look like cartoons, like the sawtooth freaking sharks and things. It was all crazy, right? And now I'd be like, eek! But then, like, I was a kid ready to go, and it's really hard to swim in that tail. It's really, really heavy, and you've got to really have abs. And I just developed them as I was going because I'm like a veal. There's nothing.
Yeah, no, it looked like a very physical.
Good, not that close. Oh.
Well, I guess you had to be a good swimmer. Did you have to take swimming lessons, or what kind of training did you have to do?
I am a good swimmer. I've always been completely enamored with the idea of mermaids from when my parents took me to Weeki Wachee. And do you know about that? You're Pennsylvania, right?
I've heard that. I've heard it. I mean, I don't know much about
Pennsylvania,
it.
Right?
Philly, yeah.
I'm from Cincinnati. So when you go to Florida and you go past see Rock City, see Ruby Falls, and you get into Florida and it's all the gator farms, and then it was like go to, I want to say Silver Springs. Is that the name of it? Whatever it was, where there were glass bottom boats, and that's where they filmed the swamp. What was the name of that swamp movie?
The Wes Craven one? Swamp Thing.
Was that Wes Craven?
Yeah, Wes Craven.
Early on. Well,
yeah.
Somebody will tell us.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only Swamp Thing was in the 80s, I believe. Mid-80s, maybe.
So for some reason, I ended up visiting a lot of sites where things were filmed, and that was interesting to me. But we also went to Cape Canaveral, then known as Cape Kennedy, which is NASA. And so I thought maybe I wanted to be an astronaut. I wasn't sure. I'm still not sure.
Wow.
I've said this recently. I have no idea what I want to be when I grow up, and that is true. It's absolutely true. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I think you're being a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, as my mom would have said, jack of all trades, master of none. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Oh. I think Mary says you're thinking of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes. So that's where, who said that? Mary? Thanks,
Mary.
That's right. Creature from the Black Lagoon. That's where that was filmed. So I would always like be hearing stuff, and I liked going to the historical sites, but it was interesting to see like where movies were filmed, like how it came from this thing that we see and like all the work that went behind it. That was interesting to me.
Right. Yeah. Mary lives in Florida. She says, yes, that is true. Old
True.
Florida. Yeah.
Silver Spring, yeah. And they would have at Silver Springs, they looked like Rockettes, but they were skiing, like water skiing. They'd be like on each other's shoulders, and like you guys have seen pictures of it. It was great.
Yeah. Well, we're going to bring up a role that you're most known for in your career, the role of Flo in the film Problem Child. This came out in 1990.
Hold on, I'll show you something.
Okay.
Hang on. You might want to ask me about this later.
I will.
This, Dom, can you see this? This is a prop from the movie. Wait.
Oh, wow. Wow. Jesus.
That's
your
what
surfboard.
in that clip that you showed, this is, I don't like how everything's backwards. Shoot. Oh, I've broken so many things now. That's what was hanging over the fireplace in Problem Child. And they sent it to my agent's office after I came back, and I walked in and they had it hanging up in the lobby. Okay. I'm back.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to mention that photo behind you. You almost knocked it off the wall with your pillow, so I have to mention it.
That's a prop from John's movie called Stay Tuned, where he goes, oh man, it goes in and out of different things on TV, like you're changing a channel thing. And one of the movies that he and Pam Dauber, who was the co-star, pop into is about the French Revolution. And he was somebody who was in the movie, within the movie, he was wanted and there was a bounty on his head. So this is, and his name is something Nabel in real. So it's called the Marquis de Nabel, Ennemi de la République. And now somebody who speaks French is going to tell me I'm full of it and that he has escaped. Isn't it cool though?
That is. I would never get. I mean, now I can kind of see a resemblance now that you mentioned it, but I would never guess. Yeah, you can see it. Definitely see it now.
Funny?
Yeah, that's great.
I think so too.
That's great.
Okay, go. What's your
so Problem Child. This is your first time meeting John Ritter?
I shook hands with him once forget that. When I was shooting, but I mean, I'm sure he didn't remember me. Actually, he did. But just like really quick, when I first moved here, I was shooting the new Love American style. We did like the interstitials, Arsenio Hall, Marcia Wallace, Norm Crosby, Barry Pearl, Demita Joe, the things in between. Do you remember Love American Style? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm sure people watching this.
It was a TV show when I was growing up that there, and in between the 15-minute little mini episodes, there would be these interstitials where like people did like mime and pushed beds down the street. And in ours, we just told old jokes. So I was shooting at wherever that was, ABC on Prospect, the old ABC studio. And as I was leaving at the end of the day, people started hustling and bustling and walking down the hall. And I looked up and it was John Ritter. And I went, hi. And he went, hi, thinking, oh, I know this person, but I don't know their name. And then he walked on, and it was because he was going in to host the cerebral palsy telethon that was shooting there that weekend. I don't know if I ever told that story, but
no, I've never heard.
Not until we re-met or met for real, were introduced to each other at Dennis Dugan's house for the first read-through, which was great.
Was it instant fireworks when you saw him?
Absolutely not.
No.
No. Next question.
Yeah.
Instant fireworks. I don't know if I believe in instant fireworks.
Yeah, I agree. You really have to get to know somebody. I agree with you. Yeah. Well, the rest of the cast included Gilbert Gottfried and the legendary Jack Warden. You must have a fun story about Jack Warden.
Jack Warden was an amazing actor. He was in everything, and John and I were just like complete awe of him, as were the writers and everybody. But he was so cool and so funny. My favorite thing is if you watch Problem Child, we could have like a little meter of when Jack has, as Big Ben, has a Southern accent and when he doesn't. It would just kind of come and go. I don't know what that was about. And nobody ever said anything. We were like, do you think he's going to use it in the scene? I don't know. Let's check. So great. He was very casual about it. And we got to know him, or I did, even better doing Problem Child 2, which was at Universal in Orlando. It was all about Orlando with the filming. Let's hope it gets to be like that again. And he used to sit outside of his trailer on the little fold down steps, smoke a cigar. And I remember John saying to him, you don't want to stink up your room with the cigar in there, your trailer. And he said, to tell you the truth, I'm very claustrophobic. I was in a submarine for all of World War II, and I can't go in there and close the door. And now I think we all feel like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I know.
Jorel Curtis has a question for you there. I don't know if you can.
Oh, yes. No, are you saying, was that really me? Wait. Read it to me, Dom, or I'll have to put on my glasses.
What was it like when you was in the suitcase in the back of the pig farm?
Seeing the back of the pig was very believable. I wasn't even in the moment. They shot a thing of me. You'll see it's a close-up of me. My sweater is shedding, and I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to it.
Oh,
so
no.
I apologize for all the fluff, if you can see it. So I just look crazy? That's fine. The camera's out here. I unzip the suitcase and look out, and they told me what it was I was looking at, but that wasn't shot. And they shot the pig and his butt and his package and whatever it was. When I saw the movie, I was like, oh, because I didn't even imagine that when I was acting it. So I was never zipped inside a suitcase. I'm going to have to say that would have been horrible, but it just looked like I was like in the back of it. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, they did a great job with that scene, because I thought it was you as well. It was the magic of video editing.
It was me, but I just wasn't in the same scene with the pig and his gigantic testicles.
Jesus. Well, Michael Oliver played your son in the film, and this, oddly enough, this was his first film. He seemed like a natural. Did you and John meet him to see if there was chemistry before he was cast?
John and I had no. I don't think John had any. Maybe I don't remember. I don't know. John might have seen, video of whoever was cast. I'm not sure. I don't know if he had casting approval. I don't think so. But we knew it was going to be interesting with Michael right away, because he was great, but he was hot and cold. Like he was a kid. So when he was done, he was just kind of lights off. I felt kind of bad. But when you go back and look, he's hilarious. My favorite thing is him imitating Gilbert in that one thing where Gilbert says, nah, 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 and Michael's great at that.
Yeah, no, like I said, you would never know it was his first film.
And Ivy Ann Schwan, who played my daughter in Problem Child 2. I mean, those kids are great. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, you had mentioned Dennis Dugan. Is it Dugan or Duggan? Dugan. He directed the film and went on to have a successful comedy career with films like Big Daddy and Saving Silverman, Benchwarmers, and on and on. Clearly, the guy knows how to make people laugh. Was he funny on set?
Wonderful. I love him. And he and John were so funny together. And he and John, because Dennis was an actor. He was on Rockford Files, and he was in Moonlighting. He's been around forever, like paying his dues and putting in his time. Sounds like prison. So he and John knew each other from auditioning for stuff together. They were those guys. So it was really cool. And Dennis was hilarious and remains a wonderful guy.
Yeah. Very, very cool. How important is it for a director to be funny and open on set as an actor? How would you say how important that is?
100% important. Yeah. But as an actor, you got to do whatever your job is, even if the director is a big dick.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Way to put it lightly.
What's going to show up and what's going to last is what you did on camera. And you can't like jump in the scene like, I wanted to do it this way, but he's being mean to me. No. It's whatever that is. And if you let that get in your head, or other actors, or what's ever going on in your life, I mean, your contract with the studio is your contract with the studio, and your contract with your agent, but your contract with your audience is, let me take care of this moment. You don't worry about me or how this got made. Just enjoy this. And it's like, if you break that, that kind of sucks. Tricky at times.
Yeah. Kind of break the fifth wall.
No, I see what you mean, but it's not even that as much as, really, no matter what's going on in your life, it's not the audience's problem. Do you know what I mean? Right. So you just have to deliver kind of the vision of the script.
Right.
And yeah, no. I mean, I'm sure people go, "What's wrong? She looks like she didn't get any sleep on some episodes of everything." And it's like, I'm from the days where you did it. I'm from the day. Why, this was all orange groves as far as the eye could see. That's what John used to say. But it's like, you know, now obviously there's a lot more interaction with your audience and social media and stuff. And in the, I don't know. I like the idea of, here's my little performance for you. You like it? Do you don't? Okay, then don't go see it. But
right.
I'm learning. This boomer is learning.
No, you're doing great. Well, Lady Diadem says, what's your favorite scene in Problem Child, and who was more interesting to play, Flo or Annie?
Interesting to play. They were so different, except for the fact that they were both me, that it was, I would say, it's not interesting. It's not which one was more interesting. They were really different. Flo, I have to say, was more fun because the character was more arch and like a cartoon character, and that is always good. Favorite scene in Problem Child? My favorite scene that I was in would probably be, I liked at the birthday party, the little girl, Colby Klein, daughter of Richard Klein, who played Larry on Three's Company, the little girl in the party that's "It's my party." Wow. And I'll cry if I want to.
Never knew that.
She's a wonderful girl. Woman, I guess. But that was really fun because I get to, and then when I like scream at my husband, I always loved screaming at John, because whether he was on camera with me or it was on me and he was off camera, he always looked so scared of me. Nobody could flinch. Not in real life. He wasn't scared of me at all. But I mean, that idea of John was almost like a cartoon character. Like when I would yell at him or whatever, and when we worked on Wings together too, it would almost like you could picture like his hair blowing back like it was animated. So that's that.
Yeah, Ben has a great question. Says, question for Amy. Outside of the two Problem Child films that you were in with John, what is your favorite of John's film? Mine is Stay Tuned. I can watch it several times a year.
Did you see this? Or have you been on the whole time seeing the Stay Tuned thing? Stay Tuned was great. My favorite movie of John's is Sling Blade. He was absolutely brilliant in it, and I think the studio, his representatives and stuff really wanted to put him out there for an Oscar. That there's like a whole campaign when you like take your actor in campaign. He's like, I can't do that. I don't like that. But I mean, a lot of people considered that for John to be his finest acting turn, and his character just broke my heart. It was so sweet. I loved it. He loved making that movie, and he loved Billy, and Billy still loves John.
Yeah, it's a great one. He was amazing in it. He would have gotten every award, I think, if he was nominated.
I think so, but look, it wasn't in him. He was not a self-promoter. He had people working for him whose only job was to say no, thank you, no, about publicity. But he did every charity event. When somebody would say, hey, can you come and host this thing at my kid's school, he would go. He's a very sweet guy. While I was sitting here, Dom, I realize I'm at my desk and there's like pictures here. So this, can you see this? That's John and where's the camera? That's John and me and Billy at a auction of photographs taken by Roddy McDowell.
Wow.
And they were auctioned off for, I believe it was either AIDS Project LA or Project Angel Food, which are, John bid on the picture of Billy and won it, and I still have it. And Billy wrote on it's this big. I'm going to auction it at some point. And John wrote on it, "Here's your picture, Billy, John," something like that. I don't know why. I don't know why I had to do the accent, but it was an amazing, crazy night. You want to see my pictures?
I can only imagine some of the gems you have.
I'll show you. Days of Our Lives. Drake Hogestyn. Remember Drake Hogestyn? He's still on it.
Hang on, I'm gonna put that up for a second. I'm gonna go full screen so people
can see my not manicure. That's backstage at Days of Our Lives. This is, tell me who you think this is. Somebody write in and say who I'm with, please. This was On Wings, famous actress. She has passed away. Anybody know? Do you know, Dom? Anybody write in?
I almost said Angela Lansbury, but it's not her.
No, it's Debbie Reynolds. She played my mom.
Wow. Okay.
I know, right?
Wow.
And this, you can hardly recognize me in this because it's not me. It's my sister Anne and John. Just thought I'd put it out there. Okay, maybe that's it.
Did I meet?
Getting my makeup done for Dracula Dead and Loving It. See? I think that's it. Oh, wait, no. Look, this is a Polaroid from the set of Robin Hood. Dom, I should make that. I should blow that up, huh?
Yeah, they're great. There's some great photos.
Did we lose you? I'm in charge now. I've taken over. Sorry.
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay,
You were swirling for a minute.
Yeah, I think it takes a minute once I remove myself from the screen. It takes a minute to come back.
Let's not ever do that again. That was scary to not see you for a minute.
Oh yeah, right. Well, the sequel came shortly after Problem Child. Was this expected, or was it a surprise to you?
Oh, it was a huge surprise to everybody that Problem Child did that well. I shouldn't say that. It was just such a goofy thing, but John is just so sincere. I mean, I feel like the success of it was the writing was hilarious, the directing was hilarious, but John was just so sincere in it that it made sense. Like, well, what happens to this guy and this kid afterwards, after they get this Flo biatch out of their life? And it's like, somehow people wanted to see it.
Wow. Did they ever mention why they didn't bring the original director? Why they went with Brian Levin?
I imagine Dennis was off to bigger and better things by then.
Could have been.
I don't know. Brian Levant.
Levant.
Yeah, he was great.
I'm sure he was. Was it hard for you to get out of the Flo character? Like, did you want to keep slipping back into Flo because you were
No. I did not want to keep slipping back into Flo. I knew that the character of Nurse Andy depended on me not being Flo. And I actually went to not a screening, but actually when Problem Child 2 was at the movies and I sat in the back. Remember movie theaters? And we would sit in the old days and watching people going, no, it's not. Is that the same lady? I don't know. No, she looks younger than the first lady. I'm like, well, thank you. I did not get younger. It was the hairstyle. And that was a million years ago. God knows what they'd say now. I could show up as Meemaw Healy.
Well, you would appear on a number of popular TV shows, including Designing Women, Quantum Leap, Matlock, and many others. Do you enjoy
Matlocks?
Do you enjoy doing TV over film? Which one do you prefer? And what would you say the biggest difference is between the sets, between a TV set and a film set?
Well, on most TV shows, there's a lot more of this, and there's a schedule, especially if it's a one camera show and it's an hour long. like Quantum Leap, or even a half hour long like Modern Family. It's like they have the next they're prepping the next script already, you know. And I'd like to get in there, and somebody from Ohio said, "Hey, that's Debbie Reynolds." Too late. Thank you. But it's, you know, I like the idea of it going fast and like jumping in with the flow and being a team player. On film sets that I've been on, it's they still have the schedule and stuff. It's a little more time in between because you're not shooting it all on one camera, or like on a sitcom where there's 4 cameras, but they have to move the cameras every time for a different angle.
Right.
That's all. It's all the same. I don't know. I'm lucky to have done and grateful to have done the work that I've done so far, and I can't wait to see what else is out there. It's such a weird, interesting time right now because, you know, all of us are meeting producers and directors stuff this way, and sometimes just filming the scene with the sides when we audition for something, and it's just really different. I'm a people person, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, we do what we have to, you know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, of course, we have to mention Mel Brooks. You did your first film with him in 1993, Robin Hood Men in Tights. How excited were you when you got the call saying that you were working with Mel Brooks?
He called me, so that was amazing.
Wow.
But it was 1990. Was it 1993 is when it came out, but we shot it in 1992. That's what it was. Or at the beginning of 93, or so. I got it in 92. I remember because I was very excited. Amazing. Like, pinch me. Like, you know, I was like, I had been, seems like I was recovering from having my wisdom teeth pulled. Not really, but like anesthesia. Like, is this real life? Like that video. Really. And Mel called me because I had auditioned, and then I went in to meet him and we had fun. And then called me and said, "Don't leave town, don't cut your hair," which is, I guess, what he says to everybody when they get a job with him. And I didn't. Wow,
that's awesome. I just can't imagine getting a call.
And then the second time for Dracula, I remember I was at the soup plantation in Brentwood, which I think soup plantations are gone now because that was just the sneeze guards and everything. You know, the restaurant wore a mask. It was scary, but it was my favorite place. And I remember just like calling my agent about something else, and like, "We've been trying to find you. Mel Brooks wants you to call him." So I called him because I didn't even know this movie was in the works, and he said, "Would you come and be Nina to Leslie Nielsen's Dracula?" And I went, "Yes," probably before he was even done. Really excited.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks.
The fact that I worked with Weber, my buddy, made it even better.
For sure. Is Mel Brooks? I know him well. He's you know, one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, everything that comes out of his mouth makes you laugh, pretty much.
Right. I know.
I miss his tweets. I miss him on Twitter. You know, he left
got
Twitter.
Off of there. He was,
but he
was loud and proud, and I think he's smart to get off of there for a while.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Mel Brooks, is he a collaborator? Does he let you improvise much, or is he pretty strict with the script?
Yes, he would give, you know, people like one for them, like one couple for him and one for them. But when things were not working, I remember mostly on Dracula Dead and Loving It, there was a thing where people were going, there was something that was like, for some reason, either was just how it was being shot or the words or the actors. I don't know what it was, but I remember everybody was going, Mel, how about, and he's like, the next person that says, how about, or what if, gets thrown off this set. He was dead serious. Because he was so friendly and collaborative. And then we're like, hey, what about this? What about that? And it's like, it's Mel Brooks. Everybody shut up. And he's like, I got it. He's like, okay, he's got it. It's like, of course he's got it. He's Mel Brooks. But he was just in that one moment because everybody was like, because he makes himself so available. And he shows the dailies, the stuff the next day, whatever shot. Like if you shoot stuff on a Monday, then they develop, all of the things, and then the director looks at it on the big screen with other people, an editor, and they figure out which parts they're going to use. Nobody ever lets the actors look at that, but he would invite us. We would bring our breakfast burritos or whatever, our lunch, our bagels, and sit in this little theater and watch ourselves from the day before. That's the bravest thing ever. Not for an actor. We always want to see ourselves, but I couldn't believe, and John couldn't believe that Mel would let us do that. He's like, "Can I come?" And Mel's like, "Oh, of course." And the first time John came, and this was on Robin Hood, was the one where both lip syncing, always. Carrie singing to me, "The night is young and you're so beautiful," and me like reacting to that. So it was me kind of doing like physical comedy. And it was so neat watching it with John, and Mel was like looking at us and giving me the thumbs up. So sweet, because he knew that that it meant the world to me.
That's awesome. Because it's not very common for actors to see the dailies, isn't it? Usually just the producers and the director
and the editor, and
yeah. Wow, that's great.
I mean, some actors might have it in their contract, maybe if they're producing the movie or something, but I've never been. I'm just like a actor worker that shows up.
Right. Jarrell's asking, would you ever do a film with Lorraine Newman?
Another film with Lorraine Newman? Yes, because Lorraine was LaWanda in Problem Child 2.
That's right.
Problem Child 1, kind of theme in there. But when Problem Child 2 and Lorraine, who's like fancy, whenever she would pull up in a fancy car or something, it would go. So in my family, a lot of people, if something's like super fancy or we got good rock star parking, we're like, that's all. I love Lorraine. I talk to her all the time. I mean, we text and stuff all the time, but I've spent a good amount of time with her on other stuff too.
Very cool.
Love her.
Yep. We're going to mention another funny guy you worked with, Jim Carrey. He did the film The Mask.
Who?
Unknown Canadian actor. Jim Carrey.
Unknown Canadian actor. He would love that. They would love that.
What would you say is the hardest part about doing comedy?
Ask me what the hardest thing is about ice skating.
What's the hardest thing? The ice. You're right.
That's not how it goes. I don't know.
It's definitely the coolest part.
Again, hardest thing about acting or doing comedy?
About doing comedy.
I don't find it. I love it. So if something is difficult about it, it's not like, oh, I'm great at it, it's easy. It's not that at all. It's that you find it. So that's fun. It's very collaborative. I mean, Jim can do anything like on his own, but the stuff that I've done has been so collaborative that if you're doing a comedy with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, you can kind of comedy up for both. But when you're working with, name everybody you just named, Jim Carrey, John Ritter, Steve Weber, I mean, the Carrie L. West, the pantheon of leading men and partners that I've had. It's so much fun and so easy, and they make you feel so good about it, and that any like difficult parts that you've had with other actors or actresses just go. Psh. I'm sure it was there, but it's just like after you give birth, you're like, oh, I can't remember the sad parts or the hurt. I gave birth to this character. I'm not that kind of actor. I don't know what I'm talking about. Can I ask you a question? Does this do a thing? Does that make me upside down or something? I'm trying to get something.
No.
What about like this? Is that a thing? Okay.
No.
All right, just checking.
Well, I have to mention the director of The Mask, Chuck Russell, whom I actually love the remake of The Blob that he did. Talk about Chuck Russell. No? Oh, he did a great job. I think it was 88, 87, 88. Very good. Very good remake. Was he an actor's director?
No, not to me.
No. Wow.
Not this actor. Not this actor. No. I know he's a great director, and I'm sure he's a great guy. It was kind of uncomfortable set for a couple reasons. It was a little weird. I don't know why. I mean, not uncomfortable, like inappropriate, nothing like that. Just, I don't know. I felt like he didn't like anything I was doing, and he let me know that in front of everybody. Oh. But like I said, the actors around, and you knew who all the actors were in that, and the producers were like, "Don't worry about it. You're great." Yeah. And then I didn't care if I was great. I just didn't want it to show up that I was nervous for the director. But maybe, I'm just not his cup of tea.
Oh, you did great in it, and you had one of the most memorable deaths, I think, of your career in that movie. Thrown in the printing press.
It's even more memorable if you can ever get a hold of the extra scenes, because they throw me in the newspaper press, and then newspapers come out, and I have one of them. I have props from those scenes, and it's the newspaper, and it's me like this, as if I've gotten squished into the paper somehow, which doesn't make any sense, but it was great.
Well, it was supposed to be cartoony.
By the way, Chuck, I know you're not watching, but all is forgiven. He doesn't remember me, I'm sure.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure I don't care.
Well, let's move on.
So I can be critical.
You do. So he did a good job with, for a remake. Yeah, it's really good.
Sure, he did. He'd be great at directing blobs.
Well, he was. Okay. We're going to move on to Wings. He played.
Your sound is a little weird. I don't know if anybody else is hearing that. Oh, now it's back.
Am I loud and clear?
Loud and proud and clear.
Loud and clear. Okay. We're going to move on to Wings. You played the character of Casey Davenport, of course, a fan favorite for this show. Had you been a fan of the show prior to getting cast? Had you watched the show?
Yes. I remember watching it and thinking, wow, everybody's so good looking. It's like watching a soap opera, but everybody's funny. Mostly Steve and Tim. I was like, huh? What? Huh? But I was thrilled to get the audition for it. And it really is, aside from the times I worked with John, it's like definitely is my favorite TV thing ever. And to be on that and to be part of that ensemble. And we didn't get a lot of love, fans always and still, but it was the production, the producers, most of them from Cheers, and then after Wings was on a couple years, they were doing Frasier at the same time, and Frasier was getting all this publicity, and we were on the same lot, and the producers of Grub Street producers would come and say hi to us and go back and forth and stuff. But I remember some of the people that were on Wings for a long time were like, oh, okay. The new kid gets all that. And I was just like, I am just happy to be here. Very happy to be here. I have a parking spot at Paramount Studios. I know that doesn't sound glamorous, but it is to me. I'd kill for one now.
Yeah, any parking spot in LA is good, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? I'd walk my house from there.
Tim is asking, what's your favorite memory of working with Tony Shalhoub?
Tell Tim that he's my cousin and I see him.
Okay.
Hi, Tim. My favorite memory of working with Tony Shalhoub would be, I loved working with him and all of the Antonio and Casey stuff, but it was literally working with him and seeing how he was at work, and when his wife Brooke would visit and his two daughters, and he was always learning something. There was always something he was reading, like Irish plays and stuff in his room, and then he'd start taking piano lessons. I think maybe one of his daughters was taking them at the same time, but so he had a keyboard in there, he'd be practicing. He was just always, a lot of people are always doing something else. I always have a crossword puzzle going. That I bonded with Ed Begley Jr. over that in that Big Cars, Little Women, Big Cars. But I always have something else going to that I can. But Tony was, and he still is. He's that guy. I love Tony. I still know him very well. And he is a homeboy to me because he's Lebanese, and my dad's side of the family is all Lebanese. So we would talk about food and hilarious things Lebanese moms say. Although I had a Lebanese grandma, not a Lebanese mom.
Very cool.
I think
What
so.
would you say? Do you have an episode of Wings that you'd recommend to people that you're most proud of?
Well, the one I was on with John, when John came, it was hilarious because he played my ex-husband, and we got into a couple physical fights together. So that was so much fun. I loved that.
Yeah, that was
It was
great.
great. I think it was.
Nice.
It's called Love Overboard. Is that right? I think it's on the second to last season.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty
Also,
good jaw jack.
I did a thing. Pretty good. What now?
Pretty good jaw jack he gave him.
Right? I know. I thought so. And I also pull his hair, and he has plugs in his nose because I had given him a bloody nose in that scene before. And I pull his hair, and he blows the plugs out. I think I have some. I think I have actual possibly pilfered slides from that day. Come at me, Paramount. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Amazing.
Let's see. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Well, you had mentioned Steven Weber, Tim Daly, all the funny guys on set. Do you remember any pranks on set?
Weber did a thing one time where he was. Hold on. I'm adjusting for the light. Is that a thing? Can you see me?
Yep.
All of a sudden I can't see me. Okay, I can see me. I don't have a ring light. You notice you can see it reflected in everybody's eyes, like on the news and stuff.
Yeah, I can see the little circles.
Shoot, hold on. Behind the scenes. What was it that you asked me?
A prank.
Weber one time, it ended up on the gag reel at the end. There was a thing where he was supposed to be behind, like opening the file cabinet, and he was standing behind it, and I walk in, and I believe he was naked. He might have been in his underpants, but I just remember the door, the file thing, the audience couldn't see it. The file shutting, and there he was, perhaps nude. I can't remember. It wasn't traumatic though. It was fun.
Wow, that's awesome.
And there was another time where it was, maybe I'm going to go with Steve and Tommy Church. I can't remember who the other one was. Ran across set with spaghetti colanders strapped around them like cod pieces with their butts naked. None of this was upsetting for anyone, or they wouldn't have done it.
I hope somebody has footage of this stuff somewhere. You know,
it's in the gag reels, and we have those. I don't know. Weber's probably got it.
Shimon Baum is saying, "What's the goofiest thing or prank John ever did in your presence, or something you guys did together?"
He would drag me into so many scenarios. A lot of times, many times, we would be on an elevator, and he'd be standing next to me, and as it was coming up to a floor, like somebody else pushed the button, he would stand on the other side, and when that person came in, he would have his hat pulled down, and he would just pretend like he was somebody who was really bothering me, and just, I would have to not laugh so I wouldn't blow the improv, and he would just be like, "Yes, my phone number, and you're really pretty, I like redheads," and blah blah blah, and the person would get really scared because it wasn't John Ritter doing it. It was just some guy talking to some lady, and I would say, "Please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't." And then we would do bits with each other, but we, just like a lot of people that John had in his life, if you said to the person, like if they were having you on, if you said, I would say to John, "You have to tell me if you're doing a bit," then you'd have to come clean. But it was always fun to figure out, there were many times, and I think this started, I don't know, he did it with a lot of people, with Jack Bender, who was his roommate at SC and later, where if you would go out of the room like you're leaving, and then he could hear you coming back in, he would put himself in a compromising position, like he was doing something inappropriate, with an object that you left behind or something. Like you walk in the room and he'd pretend like shocked to see you, but he had seen you coming back. That is all I can say. Those who know.
That's great. Well, we're a little over an hour here.
Always entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, we're a little over an hour here, but I have to ask, quick story about Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors. Another funny guy that you worked with. A quick memory of Leslie.
Leslie worked so hard on the scene where he has to hang upside down, and he had to hang upside down to be that bat.
Right.
To be that Dracula when he turns into a bat, because they had to film him at some point upside down, whatever. So he would, in his amazing trailer, he had like a really super tricked out trailer. I think it was like 2 trailers put together or something. I just remember we were all like, huh? He had like a whole gym in there, and he would practice like hanging upside down. But the famous thing about him, like, did he really carry a pretend flatulence device around with him? And he would. So anytime you would like sit down around him, he would, and I'm sure he had it in his Dracula cape too. I can't remember. It would go every time people would sit down, and we always would kind of know, but whoever was new to the set was always like looking around like, what happened? He was great.
Yeah, him and Mel Brooks seemed like a match made in heaven, for sure.
Right? For sure.
Well, I remember seeing Dracula Dead and Loving it with my dad at the cinema when I was like 10 or 11.
Okay. Am I that old?
At the time of my life. Hey, I would have killed to grow up in the 70s. I'm jealous.
Aw, okay.
Do you remember seeing the film? Yeah, I saw it with my dad. I had the time of my life. He did. Yeah, he did.
Oh, good.
We had fun.
Good.
Do you remember seeing it for the first time with an audience? Dracula Dead and Loving? Yeah.
I imagine it was at a screening. I don't remember that one. Problem Child, I remember seeing. And Robin Hood, I don't know. I guess I went to screenings of it. Wow. I would like to find out those things. I hate that it's nice, and I have to tell myself that I don't remember. Sometimes I'll like see somebody, I'm like, they're so good, and then I'll IMDb them. I'm like, oh yeah, I worked with them. And part of it is I'm getting up there, but the other part is I'm very lucky that I've worked for a long time. It's, you know, if I'd only done 2 productions in my life, I would remember everything about them. And I have a really, really good memory. So it makes me feel good when I forget something. It's like, oh, maybe it's because I worked a lot. And I hope to work more. Let's do that.
Yeah, you did. You know, and as you mentioned, you worked with some legendary funny guys and some great actors and great directors. And
absolutely. I'm
hopefully more to come. Which leads into my final question for you. I'm probably going to put you on the spot, but I ask this question to everybody. If you could play the lead actress in one film and pick a lead actor to star in it with you, and any director you want to direct the film, who would you pick? Now, the 2 caveats, they have to be people you've never worked with before, and they have to be people who are still alive.
Okay. Do I have to say a movie that's already been made, or what kind of
movie? No, you just, if this could be any.
I would like to do, I would love to do a period Western, and I would like to do it with Robert De Niro. I know this doesn't make any sense, and Martin Scorsese. Like a Western gangster movie. I think that would be fun. I can't imagine I would get that part. They would probably hire a 20-year-old girl to play his wife, but you never know.
No, that would be something.
Dress up in all the costumes.
Yeah, that would be something. Well, Amy, this was fun.
Yeah, it was.
We've only done that one convention together, but I've learned, I learned a lot about you, and you're strong, driven, and you're an enduring person, and I always enjoy getting to know a little bit more about you. Any closing words for our viewers?
Yeah. Thank you for, if you're a fan of mine or a fan of John or a fan of movies and TV, thank you for sticking with us. It's been a hard time showbiz wise for everybody. And I don't just mean like acting jobs. I mean, on a set, there's everybody, all of those people, and they all have jobs and families to feed, and we need to, I'm okay, but the business is going to get back on its feet. And until that time, be patient and just, I guess, watch HBO Max. I can't get it to show up on my TV. Whoever's watching this in my family who works in computers, that would be Bobby and Mike. Can you please tell old Aunt Amy how to figure out how to get HBO Max on her TV? I know that wasn't the question. And thanks to everybody. And please check out the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health, because it affects everybody in some way. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep. And I do want to remind everybody that, whoa, you're looking at everybody there. I do want to remind everybody that you can have a one-on-one chat with Amy following this on Zoom. As you can see, she's really fun to talk to.
Won't there be a chaperone?
They'll have to buy it to find out.
Oh, golly. Right.
So those will be on sale for about another 15 minutes, and then you can get autographs, video greetings, and as well as a lot of information on that website above us, johnritterfoundation.org. Check that out, follow it, share it, spread the word. And let's keep paying tribute to this wonderful actor that we all love.
And you know what, Dominic? I just found out that you don't. I literally just found out that you don't. That you can have followers on Facebook. I didn't know that. I thought it was just like I had to like do friends. You can do followers.
Yeah.
Come on, come find me.
We have to make you like a public page, like a public figure page. And right now, I think you just have like a personal account. You have to have like a public figure account.
You do?
Yeah, I think you should. You know,
okay. Will you help me with it?
Oh, I'll help you with it. Yeah, we'll get that going.
Okay,
so,
thanks, Dom.
All right, Amy. Well, thanks so much, and we'll see you shortly.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thanks so much to everyone who watched us live. I hope you had a fun time with us. We tried to get to as many questions as possible, so sorry if I didn't get yours. But we only have limited time here. If you did book your Zoom with Amy, you can go ahead and click on that link in the email that we sent you at your assigned time, and we'll see you shortly. And we have 3 final digital fan events of the year coming up that I do want to remind you of. With Kent McCord coming up on December 19th, a fan favorite, the star of Adam 12. And we finish off the year with Eric Freeman from Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, and Scott McDonald from Jack Frost. Those are on December 20th and the 26th. Check out FullEmpirePromotions.com for all that information. And thanks again to everyone who watched, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.